Leo, welcome back. I'm Yildiz from Yildiz Readings. We're here to do your love and general read to check in on the energies of what's coming through for you guys. Now, I've pulled the cards ahead of time. If you are wanting a booking, the link is directly below, and anything relevant to the channel that I feel will help you will be in the link above. Now, we have moved away from last month, the moon in Scorpio. Now, we are moving into the new moon in Gemini, which is all about change and spontaneity. So I will be doing a reading based on the moon and what energy will be coming through. If time permits, I'll do it via zodiac sign, but I will still be covering the energy nevertheless. Now, as I said, I have pulled the cards ahead of time in your general life, and you know, you do tend to find there's lots of different changes coming. Although we do focus on love, there are other dynamics that can directly impact it. So we are looking at the whole energy collectively, be it single, couple, or in between. Now, the crowning energy you've got coming through is the Chariot in reverse. Now, I have pulled additional cards to really tune into the frequency of what's coming through. I have pulled chakra cards, and I've also pulled Abraham Hicks manifestation cards, so to speak, you know, for the positive affirmations. The interesting thing is, on a spiritual path and a quest, in the way in which you're wanting to move, we do have Pluto. We've got Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter in retrograde. We also have the Gemini new moon coming in on the 3rd of June. That energy does entail change and spontaneity. So I do feel with Pluto and Saturn, they're really showing us, again, what is and what isn't working. It can be in a sense of transport. The clarifying card you have, our diversity supports our individual freedom. Yeah, I'm not feeling that. I'm feeling as though, especially with the Scorpion moon that just went by, I do feel as though you're looking at, it is quite an ego-orientated moon that went past, and it was a full moon, which denotes purge, releasing. It can be sputum, so to speak, of the way we talk to each other, our prejudice, our energies, the energy that we feel impacting us. A lot of that was going on, and it really had felt quite stagnant until about mid-May. Moving forward to that, we are realizing what is and what isn't working. And some of us that are wondering why these manifestations aren't coming through, what I have experienced is when you are focusing on too many paths or too many ways one particular situation can evolve, but you haven't completely committed to it because you're unsure, and we're in our third eye, which is the meditation of the scenario, the processing of that information. It prevents us from moving forward. We note what is and what isn't working, then we assess it to a degree of what we need to do to change those things. It can be that you're that exhausted that you feel, crap, have I just got bad luck? Yes and no. It is an energy where it shifts us to the point where we do take our power back and we can get things back on track that are within our power. I do feel too many hands are at you, and there's too many areas of life that need changing, or you feel are now directly impacting you. And again, head, heart, which again, when we're coming from a heart's place and we're giving, people are used to that frequency, so they continuously take. But when we are being unconditional to ourselves and we're following our intuition, we can only do what we can do. So some things are out of your control. It can be that you're changing something towards vehicle, car. Again, it might be that you're wanting to buy a new car, or you're needing transport, or you're needing a license. So it does feel as though that energy is impacting you because people are needing on you, and there's an inability somehow to have that movement forward. So it can relate to vehicle transport, short distance journeys, especially with the Mercury frequency. Now, in the past, what you may have been experiencing is really, again, here you go, indecision. And this is what I'm talking about with manifestation. Too many ways in which a path can go. Therefore, the meditation process comes through, where one could deem it as the ego, but ego is not a dirty word, okay? So, as we say, the intuition, the third eye, is very much where we're processing that information. It's at the beginning states of the manifestation. We're quite unsure what to manifest. So due to that, the bad luck was coming from that factor of really not having enough information. Again, I am fixated back on the Libra moon because it was at 0 degrees and it was at 29 degrees at various points. With those 2 points at the 29 degree mark, then moving forward from April, it was getting to the point where we thought in a logical manner, okay, that means Tower moment, that means something needs to end. That energy is still present until we resolve those situations with Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter retrograde. It's helping us reflect back over that. It doesn't mean there's no forward movement. It does mean what's highlighted is really needing to be addressed. So because you were meditating on it and looking at various ways the road could go, your mind was feeling as though you had bad luck. Now, the key to it is very much realizing if you focus on one thing and give it to universe, source, to give you a download or a 3D experience to assist with that process changing, it's going to give a solution to you. But when we're thinking about it too much, it does tend to prevent the solutions coming. In the ego experience, when we're thinking of it, it's not that it's wrong. It's more that that is a process we go through, like the 7 stages of healing. Then we become exhausted, which I've always mentioned. We have the dissension, which we're getting tired, we're getting fatigued, we're getting run down, we can get unwell. Then you have the release of the ego, which is, look, give it to universe, give it to source. What do we do when we're sick? Food, water, maybe tablets, that the doctor gives us, and we rest because we've released it. And in time, it resolves itself. Similar situation with manifesting. Currently, where you stand, you realize that you're emotional, you want passion back in your life, you want that fresh start, you want the new beginning, you want the give and take to be there. So in your present situation, you want to be focusing more time on things that you're passionate about, on things that you wish to move towards. There could be a water or an earth sign that you're directly dealing with, and it can be the emotions coming through, but wanting it to be anchored into the 3D quite heavily so. Now, with your crowning energy of the transport, the movement, the diversity, and the things that were coming through of too many different ways this situation could come through with. Again, remember, I did say ego is not a dirty word. Now, you've got the mind, which is third eye. Openness, flexibility, imagination, learning. You can't make this shit up though, so big shout out to Derry. Now, crown chakra, giving it to source, giving it to universe, because some things are out of your control. It's not that you're cursed. It's not that you got bad luck. These things are happening for you to gain trust in the process. 9 times out of 10 when we release, we accept what's supposed to be and we go with the flow. It's a bit like the way Abraham Hicks explains things. If you know you're going down rapids and you know at some point you're going to end up at the end because you're in it, do you fight against it and paddle backwards? Or do you accept the flow of the situation of what's happening and know that at some point something's going to settle and you will end up at the end of those rapids with potential solutions? The weather could change. The tides could change. So it's trusting in the process and knowing you could be fighting against something that either A, needs to come to an end, B, needs to change, or C, solutions will come to you outside of yourself, potentially better than what you feel by balancing all these things could actually do with you physically alone. I do feel as though you're going to be communicating your truth to individuals of where the imbalance is. But it's not going to be on deaf ears because I do feel energetically it's got to change. Moving forward, there you go. You're going to be outspoken. You're going to be pretty direct. This is fiery energy. This is, look, listen, Linda, these situations are not working. This has come to light for me. I do feel these equations need to change. And I do feel you handing the baton back to certain individuals where you know completely this situation is out of your control and they need to take the bull by the horns. We did have a lot of Taurus energy last month, which was really in a lot of placements in the Zodiac sign. And it was just looking at it to a point of, okay, let's not look at it with rose-colored glasses. This is what we want it to look like. But what needs to happen in order for those things to occur? It can be communication. It can be wanting to have the finer things in life, the finances, the happy endings and romance, all of those dynamics, and learning about self-worth and detachment, that it does take, there's no iron team. So it's seeing who's with you and who's against you. And it's not so much who's against you, who's not in alignment with you and going with you on that journey. And you do tend to purge those energies, and they can be blood, they can be water, whatever that be. If they're not in alignment with you, they will not, you will, how do I put it? The energy can't remain around you, not because you choose to remove yourself, because they're not vibrating high enough energetically. So naturally for their energy, situations will occur in their life to take them away, to go and upgrade their energy and have a different path through lessons. So trust in that process. Now, with your work area of life, again, it's asking you to have faith. Have faith in the situations of what's occurring, and know that these processes are happening to get you to where you need to be. It can be about growth. It can be about joining. And again, pardon me, doing things in a more balanced, moderate way, but also healing situations and building upon them. Not necessarily leaving dynamics, but looking at them and you never really leave any situation, be it a place of employment, without taking something out of it. So you never really have left. You've taken things with you. Even if you have a business venture that is failing, it's really looking at the areas where it's failing and rejigging it to a point where you can get it working. So there's clarity in the situations, but it's also a method to the madness. And I'm also hearing that this month is going to be super juicy. I mean, it was so interesting. The other day I had a download, and the first term that came to mind, I was thinking, I wonder what June's going to bring. And I started meditating, and the first word that popped to mind was juicy. And I thought, what the devil does that mean? And then I turned on YouTube a few hours later, and I just randomly pressed a video at will, didn't even look at it. And the first term they said is, oh, this is very interesting. This is going to be juicy. So very much the energy for this month, for some reason, is going to be juicy. So message sent. What won't be working for you in your employment sector? What's helping you could be a friend. It could also be separating the two areas of life where we are trying to get a balance when it comes to love and work. And again, with the nodes being in Cancer and Capricorn, very relevant, the accountability factor, as well as, you know, you actually looking at what is and what isn't going to work. So that can be a dynamic that is blocking it. So when you're working or dealing with your finances to a degree, we're covering money in a minute. Again, it could be throat chakra related, that you're needing to communicate your truth to these individuals. I do feel a friend is going to be helping you. This is a feminine energy. This could be a female co-worker. This also could be a person that is getting married, that is going to help you with a business venture or some ideas for those of you who are thinking about going out on your own. But it is purely business, okay? Because they're looking at the foundation, and what is helping you is realizing that the foundation is not stable. It may also be actually having faith in yourself that some of these things you can do just through trial and error. When it does come to employment, and it does come to anything you're directly working on, is looking at the foundation, doing some base chakra alignment, doing some meditation, eating the red food groups, so that when you're tuning into it in the third eye experience and you're processing the information, because remember, the crowning energy is really, you know, getting to a point you're going, do I have crap luck? No. Looking back, understanding that the aspect of manifestation is, the first point is the 7 stages of healing and assessment and processing. So you're doing that with temperance. You're also then getting to a point where a female figure outside of a love interest, but it's a feminine figure, is helping you with what's not working in the foundation. That could directly be you, or it could be a separate individual. But taking a mature approach, again, it can be taking a masculine approach to it and taking the bull by the horns. Get have a look at the foundational issues. Don't get triggered when it does come to you tuning into what to do. Just know that you will find a solution. What won't work for you is, how do I put it? Acknowledging the factors of what is a problem and not addressing them, because it's not a surprise. The surprise, what is blocking you, is in reverse. So it's not a surprise. You know the areas which are and aren't working. You know, don't get triggered by, oh, what if something comes at left field? We're not talking about that right now, because the energy of what's coming through is there are things that you know that need to be dealt with. It could be your vibration. It could be another person's. It could be the direct situation. This is a general read. Whatever you know to be noted, deal with that alone, and don't keep thinking of other things that may come at left field, because the may come at left field shall be manifested, and that's the irony with manifestation. And we don't even deem it as manifestation. It's the laws of attraction. Abraham Hicks. Trust me to pick those cards. It really is. You will get the direct vibration of what you believe. When you're blocked, you block things. When you're triggered and you're tuning into it, you attract that same frequency. Therefore, we say, hey, we've got poxy luck. When you say to yourself, the things that are within your control, you will deal with, and you will release any third eye energy into the fear-based frequencies, you're going to balance the situation out at work. Although it does stem from childhood, because it is in your base chakra. So it could be due to family members. It could be due to siblings and their opinions, or you marking yourself against situations and having an expectation. This could potentially be impacting that area. Now, with your money, you're making some very harsh sacrifices in order to move a situation forward. So you may be penny pinching at the moment, but I do feel success here. I feel as though you looking at what wasn't making you happy will help you, but addressing those experiences and looking at the lessons, financially speaking, is what's going to prevent you from relearning those lessons. And it can be looking at even things that, you know, you're putting your money into and you're just not enjoying it. I'm going to pull an extra card on that, because I just got another download. Again, what is coming through for Leo? This could be affecting your eating. You know, it could be you're eating more, could be you're eating less. Again, you know, other people are causing you despair and it's triggering you. So again, with the lower chakras, when we are having planets retrograde, you will find they will directly be triggered, which is quite common. And then we have the third eye, the headaches, the fatigue, because we're going through the 7 stages of healing, processing, however that be. You're in despair, okay? And it's pointing towards the third eye. What is working for you is addressing and assessing these areas, and not it's not that there's not other issues outside of the situation. There is, but where you have power within your finances, within the things that you're investing into abundantly, so you're being cautious, and it can be standing your ground. What's blocking you is not walking your path and your truth. So it may be trigger points of people actually projecting towards you, and past tense energies I'm feeling directly impacting the here and now. I'm still hearing, don't stress about what could happen. What could happen. Focus only on what is happening right now. When it comes to that, but I do feel communication's the key. You've got throat chakra, you know, upright. That really is about communication. So use your words cautiously. Do communicate about what's affecting you financially, be it to an employer, and you're saying, look, I put a lot of effort into this situation. I'd really been wanting a pay rise. It may be that you're working so hard, but you're not getting what your value and your worth is. Again, the communication is the key, and it can also be, again, harsh judgment. But I am feeling as though many are assessing every area in their life, and they're saying, okay, from here on in, what am I doing? Am I changing these situations? Your family, You're trying to make a judgment as to what's going to be best with your family. This also could be that you're having compassion and understanding towards them during this transit in June. What is helping you is being mature about situations. And, you know, again, it can be that you are making judgments of where to invest your time and where not to. There could be a party or a social gathering, or there's more social life going on. You might be a little bit more in hermit mode at the moment because you are deeply reflecting. What is working with you, though, is actually communicating. So try and talk to these people. This could be after an event, assessing things and knowing that you taking on a different role and looking at the good, the bad, and the ugly. You're on a lot of reflection at the moment about where to go to from here. I do feel as though this communication with like-minded people is going to be key. So it could be anything to the degree of talking to your closest family members, talking to your tribe. It doesn't have to be kin, so that you can actually get a balance. But I feel you need outsiders, love, nurturing, and support, but also communicating your truth, because there is a situation that's impacting your self-esteem, and it doesn't have to be that you lack confidence or anything to that degree, but it could be where, you know, the process of all these changes have really fatigued you, and you are needing something just more lighter in frequency in June. Now, your love. Something's coming back to the table, okay? There is something that's going to be resurrected. This could be an emotion, a feeling, a vibration with a person. Again, you could be with the person and be thinking about another one. This is overall energy. There is an energy of something coming back from the past. This could be a direct person. This could be your hopes and dreams. And I'm also seeing a path. So you're reflecting upon that energy. Again, abundantly so, and emotionally, you're like, okay, was there conflict with finances previously? Was there energies where there was a lack of investment in a connection? Did you do enough? Did they do enough? How can we get the balance back? How can we move this relationship to the next level? Is it going to be equal give and take? You're really assessing the equal give and take. You're really meditating upon this, and, you know, you're open to it. You want this energy. But again, I'm feeling as though you need to pay very close attention to your dreams. Again, I'm feeling a past tense scenario, and the moon energy of Gemini can be a change, and a very fast change when it does come to romance. So this could be you leaving one situation and going into another, or completely changing the vibration. And with Pluto, getting to a point that you're having that love come out of left field and go to that next level where it's out of nowhere, but it's very spontaneous. Again, I feel fence. I keep seeing a fence where you're saying, okay, do I, don't I, do I, don't I, or what do I do and how shall this move? But there is this energy of having this very fast-paced change, something shifting, and it may have already happened, but this is very relevant for the here and now, right now. Now, how they're seeing things. Internally, how they're feeling is they're trying to be responsible. So however they're directly relating to this situation, they have very high expectations of themselves. Even if you're physically not seeing it, a lot of the projection and the reality is they may feel quite burdened, but they also have very high expectations of their frequency of what they're supposed to be doing. External in their environment. There can be conflict. There can be issues of opinions, clash of clans I'm hearing. I also feel that there is conflict around which is directly impacting them, although to the heart of it, they are wanting to be responsible. They're really at a crossroads. They're really ready to make a major decision. And it is one that they know will be for a very long time. They do have free will. They do have courage and power. and change is coming. So it is going to happen very quickly. But I do feel as though with it equating to an 8, there are infinite ways this situation can come about. So it could be quite frightening for them, but they know once they walk through that door, there's no going back. So there's a major decision at hand that's going to be had. I feel you're both doing the same thing, because you've definitely got, and I pictured this card and I've just looked and you've got it. Both you and them are directly thinking that these changes are going to happen very quickly. Once you walk through that door, there's no turning back. Both of you are meditating upon this. You know, this person is really looking at like they need to make a major decision, but they're going to be very strict with themselves, because they know that whatever they're moving towards is going to be an energy where they're taking accountability. External to you, it can be the energy of really critiquing yourself, in a sense, critiquing the connection, assessing it, going through the 7 stages of healing and going, okay, where to from here? How do we deal with this? What now after all we know? Again, third eye. Imagine, focus, experience, manifest. Get to the crown chakra. Now, it's so relevant for your read, because you've got so much coming through when it does come to the third eye, the crown chakra, and aspects of manifestation. What do you have in your mind? What do you have in your heart when it comes to this connection, when it comes to love, and what do you want to do about it? What is out of your control? Release. And pick the vibration, pick the channel, and you're going to directly attract the same, because like attracts like. When we are in fair-based frequency, we attract all of those stories. When we are to the point we realize we have a right energetically, and again, the moon is being shown here, and I have mentioned the Gemini moon, it's going to happen very spontaneously. What are you being drawn to do? You know, is there a way in which you want to relate to this person and express your truth? Have you made a decision? Yeah, they're looking at what they're not passionate. You're looking at what's not anchored in on earth. So there are emotions directly involved here, and both of these cards are reversed. So it's a time where the hope is there, providing you acknowledge what needs to change. But I do feel there has been already so much change, and I see the dust settling. After the dust has settled and the healing has happened, I feel this new storyline's coming through for the both of you. Yeah, you're seeing the black and the white in the scenario. By default, I could have attracted unwanted relationships, and that's even within the direct connection. Unwanted ways, again, attract. Third eye, the processing factor. I will do a check-in during the month. If time permits, obviously I'll do more. Also, I will be covering the moon energies, so stay tuned for those. They'll be live and you can interact with me directly. Plus, I will be covering energies of the twin flame. I'm a twin flame as well as a psychic medium. If you are wanting a booking, the link is below.